Real happy for our guys. A much needed win. You know, it was not the prettiest games on with either team, but to hold a team to 50 inside your building, give our guys a lot of credit. I thought Will Dunn was good again tonight, giving us good minutes. Some of our bench guys, I thought Dwayne did a really good job of closing the game. You know, we had some lulls in there. You know, we just couldn't put them away, and I think that's a lot of credit to them as well. But they're vastly improved. They're a young team. Coach Ryan's in his second year, so he's got some young guys that have gotten better since the last time we played them. And as I told our guys, you know, it's different second time around. You know, really what you did the first time really doesn't matter.
Sure, to get them twice in the sweep this year, that hasn't been done in a long time.
Yeah, Rob said maybe ever. I don't know if that's accurate. But, you know, the series is 36-14. It's very, very lopsided. And that's a credit to a lot of the great coaches. You're going back to the Bennetts and the Heidelmans and the Link Darners. And, you know, there's been some great coaches out there and great players. You know, Green Bay's had a lot of great players. But I didn't know that until he told me on air. So it's what you want to do, Dana, right? You want to control your own destiny. You don't want to, in 10 games, sit there and say, well, we split with this team, right? If you have an opportunity to beat a team twice in the standings, that's going to mean everything, right? They can't jump you if it's tied, that sort of thing. We got into a couple of those scenarios a couple years ago, and I've tried to explain that to our kids, Dana, like each game really matters. So we're on an 11-game season right now. I broke it down to them today. Hey, we're 1-0, and we got 10 more to go, and every game we're trying to fight for position. We've got 6 more home games. I thought the crowd was awesome tonight, you know, for the weather conditions, how cold it is. You know, like my daughters, both my girls couldn't go to school today. You know, everybody's kind of staying at home right now with the weather. I thought the noise was good at the end there.
Sure, with Shamar now, where's that go? Is that just
Yeah, I think it's just an F2. You know, both guys were ejected. It's a shame that he reacted like that. But I do think young people in the heat of the battle. You know, I played. I know. I'm sure you played the game when you were younger too. Sometimes it gets chippy, right? And I thought the officials did a great job of ending it right then and there. Did a good job of getting both players removed from the game. It's something I told the guys, we got to learn from that. You know, it's something we don't want to retaliate or whatever happened. We don't want to initiate. We don't want to retaliate. You know, there's rules in basketball. So, you know, Shamar understands that. And I thought our bench, Nobody got off the bench, which was really good. But it's a teaching moment, right, Dana? Everything happens, and you got to try to teach. And I think it's just an F2. I think he'll be able to be okay. I think so, yeah. I think they're just both, you know, thrown out of this game.
you mentioned last game wanting more production from your older players in return. Do you feel like you got that tonight?
Yeah. I think we have to still keep going. You know, obviously Dwayne being an older player, Mike being an older player, Tevin Allison being an older player. You know, you got to rely on those guys. Shamar really, you know, he has 2 years of experience. So, you know, you're only as good as those older guys. You know, that's the bottom line. But we've had some good meetings this week. The guys are really spirited, as I told you guys a couple days ago. They had a players-only meeting. I was real proud of them. You know, they just wanted to kind of make sure everybody was on the same page the last 10 games. And some of the older kids really kind of narrated that and stepped up. And that's real leadership. But we got to figure out a way, those lulls. And you guys see it. You guys come to all the games. That 8-9 minute mark, how do we, you know, keep pushing forward with getting stops and playing good basketball? Because we've shown some signs. You know, we really closed again with some big stops, but it's gotta be that 40 minutes.
You touched on it, Jerrod. I mean, there's those lulls. I mean, it felt that way watching the game.
Yep.
Does it feel that way on the floor?
Yeah, I know it does coaching. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure. And, you know, you got to just keep playing. Partly their defense, Dana, is like a pack line defense. So when you drive the ball, they're packing it in. They're making you make that pass the outside. You know, when you don't make threes against it, it really becomes kind of a lull. And their front court players are big. They're strong, so it's hard to score inside on them. You know, but, yeah, I totally get it. I totally understand. I totally agree with you. I think those are great points. You know, how do you work through that? You got to keep playing, but you got to recognize that too as a player, like time and score. Hey, we've come down, we missed a couple threes. Let's drive the basketball. You know, we got to mix up our sets, do a better job as coaches, get that thing downhill, drive the ball, get an easy basket. But we had a couple of those today.
It's one to just what do you take from this to build on as you move forward now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a win, right? I mean, we were 7-3, then we went 3-7. Now we're 1-0 in this stretch. It's not where you start. It's not what happens in the middle. It's how you finish, right? That's really how sports are. How does this group want to be remembered? How does this group want to end up in the standings? I have all the faith in them that we're going to keep playing well at the right time and get this thing to really mesh. We've kind of been thrown every scenario, every game, end-of-game situation, injuries, different things. This team has persevered, so I'm happy for them, but we got to keep plugging away. Hopefully we get some good crowds. We got 3 more games this week, 2 with the women, 1 with us. Let's build on this crowd and pack this thing tomorrow and then Saturday and Sunday.
Coach, completely off the subject, UIC's getting out of the conference. First of all, your thoughts on that, and who would you like to see come in?
Yeah, good question. First of all, I think they've done a good job. I don't think this is a thing where UIC has snuck out of the league, right? I think they did it the right way. I think they're in constant communication with our commissioner. We've been hearing about this, Dana, for quite some time. Who would I like to see add? I think this is a great opportunity, right? You're at 11. I think you see what happens. I think you see what teams reach out, right? Any more in conference realignment, this thing is vastly changing. You can't even keep track of who's in what conference, and it's kind of every man for theirself. UIC's been around a long time. They were in the league when I played. I'm really going to miss Chicago, to be honest with you. So hopefully it's a destination, Dana, in a market where it kind of helps the whole league. I always felt like, UIC really added a little pop to it, right? Even our players, they enjoy going to Chicago, right? That's a really good trip, Indianapolis and Chicago. So, I think the ADs and the presidents got to decide what direction they want to go and figure this thing out, because it's a golden opportunity to get a good team. Do you go down south? Do you stay Midwest? Do you add a Division II team trying to go D1? I don't know.
Just to follow up, though, if you stay at 11, that means you have 20 league games, and then that kind of eases the schedule.
I'm a big proponent of 20. So either way, I'll be good. We'll be good with that. It allows you 2 other non-conference games. It's 22 is a lot, Dana. I mean, it's a lot of scouting. Other teams know. I would be shocked if we get another team that quick, right? Usually it takes a little bit of time. I know Robert Morris and Fort Wayne. But I do think it's enticing to see what you can get and if it makes sense. But this realignment stuff's crazy. There's been a lot of articles out there that the NCAA is meeting in a couple months about different divisions, and if you're FBS compared to FCS in football, how is this going to affect us moving forward as an athletic department? What's the NCAA tournament going to look like? It's a hot topic, I know, amongst ADs and coaches, but this league historically has been really good to add some good teams. But I would not be opposed to keeping it as 11.